Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Ollie. Ollie is from England in the UK. So let's see what Ollie has to say. Enjoy the interview. So hello Ollie, how are you?
Yes, I'm all good, thanks. How are you?
Very well. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you.
No, thank you for inviting me. Appreciate it.
So tell me, how's your day going so far?
It's not been too bad. Been working my 9 to 5, but yeah, it's not been too bad. The weather's been nice, sun's been out, so yeah, can't complain.
When we have those beautiful days like today, tell me, do you have like a routine or something that you're looking forward to it or not, to just go with the flow?
I think knowing that it's a weekday and you're waking up getting ready for work and you just want to come home, relax, get some nice comfortable clothes on, and yeah, just enjoy the sun because we don't get it very often here in the UK. So it's good to appreciate it while we have it.
And what do you do for work for a living, Ollie?
So I'm a graphic designer for my day job, but
Mhm.
of course, as you know, that I do music as well, and that's my main passion, and it's what I want to do as a career. So I'm trying to push that as best as I can, really.
Amazing. So let's start the interview talking a little bit more about your career as a musician. So tell me how everything started.
In terms of music, or
Yeah.
yeah. So my biggest passion for music probably come from my dad. We used to do a lot of long drives together when I was younger, and he has this CD, and it's like full of club music, like trance music, all from the '90s. And I was born in '98, so I missed all of that experience. But we just done all these long drives, listening to the same music all the time, and I just fell in love with it. And I think the passion for the electronic music came from that.
Hmm.
And over time, as I became a bit older, I wanted to learn how they've created these songs. And I just fell in love with the whole process of it. And I decided I wanted to start making this kind of music myself. My
Wow,
dad supported me from the start with it and still supports me even today. So, yeah,
that's amazing. I think when you have the support of your loved ones, I think it's a plus because you don't feel scared. You just go for it because you know they got your back.
exactly. Yeah. Whenever I have any live shows, he always wants to come to them. He lives a bit away from me now. But even if I have a show nearby, he just drives up, comes to the show anyway, which I love to see him just, in the background, just watching me, really. It's very nice
That's
to see.
that's amazing. And so, as a musician, so you create music and you play like in clubs and plays as a DJ.
I'm predominantly a producer, and I
Hmm.
want to get more into DJing. I haven't done it as much as I'd like to. It is quite difficult with this industry to do things that people enjoy because with the music that I produce is mainly house music, and it's not particularly something you'd hear on the radio. So to try and branch out and do more club nights is quite difficult because I've got this niche style of music that I play, and not the mainstream people doesn't don't really listen to it very much. So when I try and apply to get a gig, people look at my music and think it doesn't work for their venue. But you get the odd ones that come around saying absolutely love it. This is exactly what we're looking for, and the nights are very good when that happens.
There's always crowd for everyone. There's always taste for every kind of music. I think that's the beauty of it because you can always go in different places, different venues, and you always can find your tribe there for sure.
Yeah.
Tell me where you're from, Ollie.
So I'm from Northampton in the UK, born and bred. My whole family came from Southampton, but they moved up here many years before I was born, and yeah.
I see. So tell me the difference between, of course, beside the location between North Hampton and Southampton. There's a difference between them or not?
Slightly, yeah, because Northampton is a town, Southampton City, they have a bit more going on down there, more entertainment, interactivity there, and the people are very different. Just the way we're all grown up. Because when I was, how was I, 11, 12, we moved down there for a couple of years. For my parents, with work and everything, they had to move down there for that. So yeah, it was a very different experience, and I feel that I changed a lot while I was down there, and yeah, it really opened my eyes to see a different side of how people live really around the country.
I see. So all your family are back in Southampton and you're living right now in Northampton.
Yes, my parents actually live on the Isle of Wight, so just a little bit down from Southampton, really. Um, so they moved down there a couple of years ago now, and I moved in with my partner, stayed in Northampton because we both had work here anyway. So we thought it was a perfect opportunity to get ourselves a place and start settling down.
Amazing. Very good. Okay, Ollie, so during the interview, I'm going to explore a bit more about your life and also about your journey so far, okay?
Okay.
But before we start our journey within the Magic Box, I would like you to tell me something interesting about yourself or maybe something that not many people know about you.
Ooh, I'm a very big fan of sport. I try and watch as much sport as possible. Funny enough, I am a Southampton supporter for football, obviously through my family. Um, yeah, I've played cricket a lot since I was young as well. I actually
Wow.
played a little bit for the Northampton county team when I was 10 years old. Um,
Wow.
yeah, so I think sport has always been such a big part of my life. My parents always wanted me to get into it because they thought, great to be active, great to be healthy. So again, my dad used to be the manager of our football team when we were all younger. So
Wow.
yeah, it was really good to have him be there and we could just get along while we're both doing football and doing the things we enjoy.
Amazing. Who is your favorite player of Southampton?
Oh, I think currently, because of how bad they've done this season, I don't think I have one. But I think Fernandez is one of our players, and he's been a standout one, I think, during the season. I think a lot of the other fans will agree. We're quite concerned about how the transfer window is going to go and who we're going to keep and sell, because we have some very good players that will do things for us. But yeah, we'll see how that one goes.
Amazing. Very good. Now all the time when I look in your screen, I see Willow. I sometimes I go like Willow. If I mix during the interview, just forgive me, okay? If
No,
I
that's
mix up.
fine. That's fine.
Ollie, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through memories in life and share your point of views?
Yes, of course I am.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I have here my best friend. Full of random questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play a song just for us to relax before the first question. Okay?
Very good.
Let's do it. Right, so before we start the game, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to answer, don't want to talk about, always can change, okay?
Okay.
First question for you is, what does your best friends, what do they do that always comforts you?
I think just always being able to make me laugh. When they know that I've had a bad day or feeling down, they're always there to just be like, right, forget about it, push it aside, we'll have a good night and just have a great laugh, talk about whatever we want. Yeah, so I think it's just being able to try and remain positive even when things aren't going too great.
And your best friends, they live as well in Northampton or different parts of England? Or
I have a couple that live further up north. They were from Northampton, but then went to university up north. But they intend to come back down once they've finished all their education.
I see. And tell me the biggest difference between you and your best friends and the biggest similarity.
I think difference is a lot of my friends drink a lot more than I do. I don't do too much alcohol. I think when I obviously turned 18, you go out, have club nights, and but I kind of grew out of that very quickly. I didn't really enjoy it as much doing the drinking side of it. I think similarities, we can all just relax at the same time. We don't need to always feel like we're doing something to try and keep ourselves entertained. We can just sit, talk, play a board game, and yeah, we can have a great time just with that.
I see. Okay. Next question. Let's do it. Hey, Ollie. Next question is, what makes you the happiest?
I would say music, really. I think it gives me that sense of joy with anything that happens. If I'm having a bad day, I can go and listen to a certain style of music and it will just lift my spirits up again. Even if I'm feeling in a good mood, I can listen to whatever I want. Yeah, so I think with all the different forms of music that you can get, you can listen to it in any emotion you have. So I think that is the thing for me.
Tell me a music that for you, of course, when you mentioned about your dad, traveling with your dad, and actually, fun enough, my dad's a truck driver, and I think nowadays I loved 80s music because of him, because I remember he's driving with him. He always playing ABBA, Madonna, Michael Jackson, Elton John, all those big names of the 80s, you know. And I was like, oh my God, I couldn't speak English at the time, but I remember the sound of it, the very 80s, you know, 90s, like, and I was like, oh my God, it's such a great vibe. So
Yeah, absolutely.
my question for you is, tell me, do you have like those music that brings you some nostalgia from your childhood that somehow influence your music that you produce right now?
I think the classic trance vibe of it really. There's so many amazing tracks that were created, and there's some that even still get played today that people love. Like during some of my sets, I might add some of these classic trance songs, even if I weren't born when they were out. I can still love it and appreciate it, and people recognize the song straight away. So I think having that, no matter what the track is, as long as it's like a trance song, I can really enjoy it and really get into it. So yeah.
Good. Next question. Let's do it. Next question is, sorry, before the next question, tell me what's the biggest joy for you of being an artist, a musician, and what do you find most challenging about your career?
I think the things that make me feel good about it is getting that. How do I word this? Like when you've been producing for so long, like making a track, and you get it released, and people love it, and they really want to keep listening to it, and it's just them little wins of someone messaging you saying this track's amazing, and then people want to do collaboration, saying, "Would you like to help me make this track?" And thinking that's great. They enjoy what I do enough that they want me to help them with their journey as well. So I think that is a great feeling when that happens. I think what's most challenging is actually getting the success in the first place,
Mhm.
because it's probably one of the most difficult industries to be in. And I think if you have the passion for it and you want to keep going with it, it can sometimes be quite difficult to
Mhm.
want to keep pushing yourself, especially when things aren't going right. I mean, going back with making a track for so long, but then finding out it hasn't actually turned out as good as you'd like it to, and you feel that all of that time, some part of it feels wasted. But you've always got to think that you've worked on it for so long, it may not have gone well. Work to the next one, and that one could be the best one you've ever done. So I think, yeah, the most challenging part is trying to actually create the career out of it and just keep pushing yourself along.
And for you to create your music, do you need to be inspired by, you can do every day, or, you know, for you just need to sit down or put yourself in your, you know, in your own words? How does it work, your inspiration for your music?
So I think it mainly comes from just listening to random playlists on Spotify. I find
Okay.
songs that I like and think, oh, these little parts of a song sound really good. I'd like to do something similar for my tracks.
Right.
So to listen to someone else and how they may have created a track, I would say I take that part of it and then make my own version of that, really. So I think being able to sit down, just going through a whole playlist of music, it gets you the ideas flowing because you can see what people are doing to what's trending, really. Yeah.
Okay. Next question is, if you could have dinner with anyone, living or not, who that would be and why?
Oh, it's always a big question. Um, I would probably say Michael Jackson, really. Yeah.
Wow.
One of my favorite vocalists of all time.
Yeah.
And yeah, just to see sort of what his life was like, because I know that his childhood wasn't amazing because of
Yeah.
the way his family treated him and just wanted him to be famous. So I think to be able to sit down and see what was actually going through his mind as he was a child as well, having to be up on all these big stages with his family, yeah, just to
Wow.
see how all that was really.
If you had the opportunity to sit down with him at the time, what would be your first question to him?
Oh, I honestly don't know. I think I think it would just sort of allow him to just speak really, and then I could work from that. Yeah, get him to just talk about his life really, kind of like what you're doing with me now. Yeah.
I'm going to share some facts about me and Michael Jackson. Growing up back in Brazil, my teacher at the time, maybe I was 6 or 7 year old, she gave us like some questionnaire, random questions, like for everyone to fill up some questions and, return back to her. So I did. There was like several questions there about our life, about ourselves, school, this kind of thing. So there was a question there asking, what would you like to be when you grow up? Yeah, guess my answer.
Would it be a singer like Michael Jackson?
I just wrote Michael Jackson. Okay. So she collects from everyone all the papers. Next day, she called me her desk. Next day, said, "William, come here." I was like, What happened?" She said to me, did you understand this question?" I said, "Yeah, I understood." And she said, "Why did you put Michael Jackson?" I said, "Because I would like to be Michael Jackson when I grow up one day." And she was like, "But Michael Jackson is not a profession." And I was like, "Yes, I would like to be Michael Jackson." So I think I have this vague memory of this situation, and also I have a vague memory talking to my mom, talking to me about it at home. So I think she called my mom for her to explain to me, because I didn't want to take it. I didn't want to, take it, because I have this vague memory of my mom at home saying, "You could be a singer, you could be a performer, you could be a dancer, but Michael Jackson, he's all of that." So I think she was trying to explain to me, but I was like, no, 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 no. I want to be Michael Jackson. I grow
Yeah.
up.
No, I get that. Yeah, I think wanting to be like exactly like someone like him. Yeah, absolutely. I completely understand that. Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I think the very first time when I think about Michael Jackson, of course, I grew up in the 80s, and I remember the very first time I think when I kind of understood a little bit about Michael Jackson was when Black and White came out, the song. And I remember listening to it. I was like, oh my God, this is beautiful. Like this song, it's the energy. I could understand in English. I was very young. I was a little boy, but I was like, oh my God, that's such a great, vibe and everything. So that's how I was introduced to Michael Jackson. I think also on TV as well. I was like, wow, that's magic.
Mm.
What he was doing was like a magic. It was like this beautiful creature, like in front of us, just doing these beautiful moves and singing at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, not gonna exist one like him for sure. Yeah.
No, definitely not.
Next question. All right. Next question is, what would your ideal life look like?
I think being married, having kids, having a dog, just living a happy life with my family, and being able to get to the end and say, yeah, I've done everything I could to make myself happy and make my family happy and my parents proud. I think that's the big one for me. I think anything else doesn't matter at that point. Doesn't matter how much money you've got, what sort of fame you have. If your family is happy and proud of you, then yeah, that's the biggest thing for me.
And you always being a family person, this beautiful bond with your family.
Never, not always. No, it was we were never really that close when I was younger. I think it's more as I grew up, I've realized that they're not going to be here forever, and they're the people that brought you into the world and made you the person you are. So I think you've got to appreciate them while you can. So I think trying to be as close to them and always try and be a part of their life, really, even no matter how far they are away. Yeah, I think definitely recently we've been a lot closer, even though we live further away.
And which person in your life you're more close to right now at the moment?
I think my partner I am closer to at the moment. Being us living together, we're always trying to talk, always tell each other about our day, always trying to find things to do together. It's not, we come home and just sit in silence. We're always trying to do something together. So yeah.
And tell me, okay, so your partner is watching this interview right now, and you can send them a message. What would you say?
I just think that I'd say I love you, I'm proud of you, and she's such a strong, independent person. She's doing well in her job. So I think, yeah,
Oh,
I'd just say that I'm proud of her.
beautiful. How did your path cross, if you can share?
We actually worked together in the same building a few years back. We both worked in a cinema. I worked in the upstairs department, which was a coffee shop. She was downstairs, and we just
Oh, wow.
sort of got to connecting really through that, and found that we really got on with each other. And yeah, the rest is history.
Sweet, very sweet. Next question. Ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay, before the next question, in your industry as a musician, yeah, tell me three names of three artists, musicians, that for you always being big inspiration for your music.
I think Swedish House Mafia is a big one. I've listened to
Okay.
their music since I was young.
Okay.
Armin van Buuren is another one. He's probably my favorite DJ. Whenever I've gone to any festivals or concerts, I'm always having to go and see him. And I think another one is ooh, got to choose between two now. I would say another artist, Cream. They're like a Norwegian duo. I think my more modern style of music was heavily inspired by them. So I think they helped shape the sort of music that I do now. So yeah,
Those three just mentioned now, they're still with us. They are still with us.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, all of
Okay.
them.
All right. So one day you're gonna wake up in the morning having three missed calls on your phone for those three you just mentioned right now. You know where I'm going, yes? Which one you call back straight away? Which one you're gonna send a message? I call you back later. And the third one, you don't call back, you don't send a message, just go like I can talk to them another time.
I think Swedish House Mafia, I would call back straight away. Cream, I think I would say I'll call them later. And Armin van Buuren, I'd probably say, yeah, I'd ignore. I think
Cool.
mainly I'd because I've had a track released on his label before, so I
Right.
think I'd be able to maybe our paths would cross again at some point.
Cheeky.
Yeah.
Right. Next question is, what do you think are the best traits for a person to have?
I think kindness is a big one because you've got to be kind to anyone, even if they have all these differences to you. There's no point being all disrespectful with them as long as they're showing respect to you. I think they should have respect back. Honesty, for sure, because no one likes people lying, because if you lie, someone will find out eventually. I think humor as well. I think the world needs to, have a laugh, be lighthearted, be a bit of fun. So I think if someone could make you laugh during a day, even when times are bad, then yeah, that's a huge one.
Amazing. Three questions left. Let's do it. Hey, Ollie, next question is, what was your best friend's name growing up? And why did you consider this person as your best friend at the time?
So my best friend growing up was a guy called Alex. We don't talk as much as we used to anymore
Uh-huh.
because we've just grown up really and moved on. We were both big gamers back in the day. When we were in our teenage years, we found out that we liked the same games and we played on the same console. We were both PC gamers, so we thought, okay, we'll add each other online and we'll just start talking through there. And we became best friends through that, staying up till 1, 2 in the morning, just playing games together all night. So yeah, I think we got really close through that. Yeah.
Oh, wow. And you still keep in touch with some of your friends from your childhood or not?
Not particularly, no. No, I think we all moved on relatively quickly. I still talk to him every now and again,
Uh-huh.
and we still go and meet up and have a huge catch up. But I think we used to see each other every day, and now we see each other probably once every couple of months.
I see. Two questions left. Let's do it. Okay, before the next question, tell me what music has taught you so far.
Sorry, can you repeat that one?
Can you tell before the next question what music has taught you?
Oh, I think it's everyone has a different taste in music, and no matter what kind of music that you make as a producer as such, you'll always find people that enjoy it. And I think that music has changed a lot just throughout the years. I mean, as you were going back with the 80s, I think the 80s is probably the greatest time for music, really, because it was all so different and
Yes.
people you had artists that were on radio and on Top of the Pops that probably had one song and and that was it. and I think that was probably the best time for it. And now it's changed a lot, and I think that radio music is definitely not as good as it used to be because you always see the same names. And I mean, it's not my kind of music anyway, but I know that people enjoy it. But yeah, so I think it's knowing that music has taken a different path to how it used to be. And yeah.
I see. Yeah, I totally agree. Sometimes I wish I had the superpower of going back in the 80s with my age right now, just to see, to feel that vibe, as an adult, during the time the clubs with no internet, the music was very different as well. As you said, the style of music. When they were recording, they need to play the instruments to get the sound, to get the music. Don't get me wrong. I think the technology came along. I remember the 2000s, 90s when this, the dance music started, the clubs. I remember that, like when I was 12 years old, when I was like, oh my God, when I started going out, like very, very responsible, like, my cousin, she was older than me. And I was like, I felt the music, this electronic wave starting as well. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. And I think every decade, there's a beauty behind music, you know what I mean? And I think nowadays with the technology, as you know very well, it's a different style, different sounds, different way of get that as well.
Yeah.
And I think, but the beauty is always there. I think music moves everyone. Even when I'm sad, I put a melancholic song and I feel great being sad. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
I don't,
Completely
I
understand.
don't, I don't feel better, but I just feel like this melancholic, like nice way of enjoying my sadness because of music. And I think that's great. That's the bigger power for sure. It connects people for sure.
Yeah,
Amazing.
absolutely.
Right. Describe yourself in one positive and one negative word only.
Ooh. For positive, easygoing, if you want to count that as one word.
Of course. Of course.
And negative, I'd probably say introverted because I can be. I'm not amazing at talking to people and networking. So yeah, I definitely need to work on that a lot more.
Let's talk a little bit about, your stage name as Willow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So where does it come from?
So Willow comes from Will is the first part of my last name, which is Wilcox, and the O is for Ollie. I obviously would have liked to
Ah,
have the a W, but I mean
I
it's so difficult to find a good stage name that works perfectly for you and feels like it connects with you, and then you find
I-
out someone else has got it.
right.
So I had the two V's, and yeah, I think it's created a bit more of a persona to have them two V's because when you type that in just anywhere, I will come up. So yeah.
Tell me, when the Willow persona is with you, when you put Ollie on the side.
Mm.
Tell me, there's a difference. There is a difference. You get if you know what I mean. You get yourself in a place where you just can be when Willow is around, or you know if you know what I mean. They are very similar on this, in this place where are more performing as a Willow. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think being on social media, posting on there, and showing off the music that I do, I think that is Willow, you see.
Mhm.
Same with on a live show, if I'm there performing behind the decks and I can see people having a good time. Like I can only dance and enjoy myself. I see everyone else enjoying themselves. And I think then the persona comes out a lot more then and people see like a different side of me.
Okay.
Yeah, because it just makes me happy seeing other people happy at, at the stuff that I can do and entertain them with, really.
Amazing. Okay, Willow. Last question now. I want to see you dance with me. Okay, let's do it. There you go. There we go. I could see a little bit of Willow. Right. Before the last question, tell me a moment in your career that you're never gonna forget. For one reason or another, could be anything that you go like, you know what, that place always gonna have a special place in my heart.
Oh, I think there's a couple here. I had, as I mentioned before, I had a track get released on Armin van Buren's label, and it was a remix that I did of another artist, and being able to say that I'm on one of the biggest dance labels in the world right now was such a huge, thing for me, and being able to continue to say that to people and just feel so proud of being able to get to that point. Another one being in getting my one of my tracks to its first 100,000 streams online, and that was another
Wow.
big one.
Wow.
Because I've obviously never had that, and still haven't had another song reach 100,000 streams. So I'm waiting for that time when it happens again. Yeah,
Wow. That's amazing.
yeah.
Right. Last question is, do you have any pet peeves?
Ooh. Ooh. Oh, I don't know. I think when someone's talking, because I have this at work a lot, they enjoy their films and their TV, but then they don't know any of the actors that are in it or even know what the name of the thing is called. And I'm just sitting there like bottling up. I can't shout to them and moan at them for doing it. But yeah, that gets annoying when they're having such a passion for it and getting really into it, but can't then say who's in it.
Amazing.
That's one, yeah.
What's your star sign astrology, Ollie?
I'm a Cancer.
Answer. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell me one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking.
Okay.
Let's start with family,
Love.
money,
Unnecessary.
fear,
Braveness.
life,
Beauty.
love,
Family.
religion,
Sacred.
sex,
Unneeded.
okay, politics,
Passionate.
friendship,
Enjoyable.
desire,
Drive.
regret,
None.
success,
Happiness.
wish.
Dreams.
One word for happiness.
Oh. Ooh. One word of happiness. Needed.
One word for Northampton.
Home.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one word for Southampton.
Peaceful.
Okay. England, one word.
Brave.
Music.
Passion.
And the last one now, musician, one word. Willow.
Strong.
Okay. Right, let's pretend now I'm going to meet our partner for a coffee, and I'm going to ask her, what's the most beautiful thing about Ollie? And tell me something that he still needs to work on. What do you think she would say about you?
I think she would say that I always try and make her laugh every day. Because I don't want her getting home in a bad mood and have a bad mood all day. So
Oh,
I try and always remain positive. I'm always trying to be supportive. Thing I'd need to work on, not to annoy her as much. I feel like sometimes I can go too far.
at least you know it. So you're halfway off halfway off
Yeah,
the journey.
yeah, I'm self-aware.
Amazing. Let's play now Ollie and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. But before that, let's play the music one more time. Let's do it. Okay, before you ask me the question, when people they come to see your gigs or to see you, perform your music, what's something that would you like people to take with them?
I think remembering the night, because usually when people turn up, it's mainly for just a random club night or in a pub, and they don't really know who I am. So I'd like them to go away remembering the night, remembering who I am, and wanting to come back for the next one.
Wow, perfect. Okay, you can ask me a question now, Ollie.
Yeah. So, where did you say you were from? Brazil.
Yeah.
And you live in the UK now, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what made
Yes.
you decide to move here?
Do you have another 2 hours to talk about it? Right. So back in Brazil, I always have this personality of going after my dreams, have a better life, get to know myself better, help my parents back home. I always had this. Yesterday, I had an interview with a lovely man, and he was asking about my childhood. When I was a child, I remember on my school holidays, summer holidays, I was literally, when I was like 8, 7 year old, I was like, asked my dad if I could work. He was like, Absolutely not. You are too young to work. You need to enjoy your summer holidays." But I always had this personality of, of going after my dreams. Always had. And I think they knew it. One point, I would go far away. So when I was 12-year-old, I earned a scholarship to study English in a private school, and I fell in love with the language. So I always, growing as a teenager, my dream was to live in a country where I could speak English every single day. So guess what? I live a dream. So back to your question, I think the language was something that I always wanted to improve, to learn English. I remember, like, when I was studying English, I had these books. I could see some main place in the world, like the Big Ben, Eiffel Tower, and I was like, oh my God, I'd love to be there one day. I'd like to see those places one day. So yes, back to your question, I think I'll always have this personality of, of freedom, of going after my dreams, willpower. So I always been very focused in go around the world. I always had this dream to see what was out there. Where I come from is a very small city, very small. So yeah, long story short, I always had this dream of living abroad. When I was 19-year-old, I moved all the way from Brazil to Portugal. I lived in Portugal for 5 years, and I moved to England. I've been most of my life here.
Okay.
And yes, so remember when I told you that 9-year-old, I want to work hard. When I was 19, I was already crossing the world on my own. So that's something about it. And when you're talking about your music, about I could feel the passion, and I can tell. I think when you are passionate about something, you just need to go for it and feel it. You enjoy it. It's just about you. It's part of being you. And you just want to explode, want to explore, you want to show people. So I think all of that, it's about, my journey in life, always being passionate about life.
Yeah.
Always being about people. The show here is all about, it fits me well because I love people. I find people very interesting. And talking to people around the globe here, it brings the best of me. There's the best really anyone can have when I'm here doing the interview. So yeah, I could go on and on, but your question, I'm a dreamer. I love, become a better person. I like to be on comfort zones where I can improve myself. I can explore my personality, and it's all about that. So I think it's that's my answer for you for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
long answer, but that's it.
No, very good. Well, thank you for choosing England and seeing the beauty of it.
Totally. As I said, I live a dream.
Oh, wow.
Did you enjoy the interview?
Yes, it was really good. Thank you for allowing me to talk about my life, and I'm glad I got to know you a bit better.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thanks, Ollie. I think it's great to see passionate people. I love to connect with passionate people. I love to feel the energy. I think it's the place to be, it's the place to go. It's about exploring your passion. So carry on. And I'd like to come to your gigs one day. Okay. I love music. I love being in a club, listen to music, and connect with people. So I will
Yeah.
be there one day.
All
Okay.
right. I'll let you know when I'm in London next.
Amazing. Amazing. Before we go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
I think just learn to enjoy life while it's here. I know that things are really tough right now around the world, but you've got to see any positivity and any beauty you can in your life. Live it to the best the best you can really. So yeah, just keep moving forward. Be the best person you can be.
Amazing. Very good.
All right,
Thanks
amazing stuff.
again. Regards to your dad, your family, and your partner, and we keep in touch. It was a
No,
pleasure having you.
thank you very
Okay.
much. Really appreciate it.
Bye
Cheers.
bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website www.williamandthemagicbox.com and send us a request saying why do you like to be part of the show, and I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.